Good afternoon. I'm Royce Dascom, and I'm part of the Steam Nettles Environment Team. These are my teammates.
I'm Evelyn Dascom.
I'm Seth Michael.
I'm Joy Battle.
And my name is Mariana Sanchez.
We are here today to share with you some information about a project we were working on in our hometown. There were many ideas about community service projects that we came up with. As a group, we decided to focus on cleaning up and improving the walking trails and disc golf courses that are located next to the park in Cass City. Currently, the trails are in bad shape, and not a lot of people even know that they exist. Each of us would like to share with you a little about the trails and our part in making them a place people want to go to get outside and enjoy nature.
Our research showed us that it's important to get people in our community outside for their physical and mental health. This project helps with environmental awareness too, because if you're a young kid walking through the nature trails, one day you're going to want to take care of the trails and our environment. We also are excited about our project building community spirit in Cass City. Like a lot of small towns, Cass City has a lot of factories and stores closed down, and for the last 5 years we haven't even had a grocery store. People are excited to hear that something good is coming to Cass City when they hear us talk about our nature trails.
Our solution to the problem of getting people outdoors is to develop a 13-acre village-owned forest into nature trails. The first step is to survey the forest, which we are half done with. The second step is to take care of invasive species, which we will work on next.
One of our first goals for this project was to survey the area and get an idea of what kinds of things are in and around the forest, where the trails are. With help from our local conservation district, we learned that the forest is an upland forest and is primarily a Maple Beach stand. We learned that it probably wasn't always Maple Beach. As conditions change and trees die from age, pest, or logging, other species can take over. In the past, there may have been more oak and hemlock in this area. Today, we can still find some oak, cherry, one hemlock, one paper birch, and there are many dead ash trees and emerald ash borer. Another part of the survey was identifying key features that we'll be including in our education signs. We will help put along the trail. With help from the district conservation forest, district forester, and wildlife biologist, we learned about specific trees and habitats that we wanted to highlight with our signage. We also identified trees that need to be removed due to safety issues.
Another part of surveying the area was identifying any invasive species in the forest that the trail goes through. Again, with the help of the conservation district, we were able to identify the Japanese barberry and the non-native honeysuckle. We learned that this is a great time to identify these species as they are some of the first to bud out. Right now, there are not very many of these species, so we plan to remove them by hand with help from the village to dispose of them. We did learn another way to control them by using cut stump, which is a mechanical chemical method if we find that digging log is not working.
This property was given to the village to encourage people to get outside and enjoy nature. The forest will never be harvested for profit. That was part of the rules when it was donated. This area, like most of the Funnel, Michigan, used to be covered by glaciers. In our woods, we have a variety of rock types because of how the glaciers moved across the area. North and east of Cass City was a terminal moraine called the Saginaw-Port Huron Moraine. This was the end of the glacier that dumped all types of sediment out. The bedrock map of Michigan shows that this area was a gravel and stone outwash. There is a sand and gravel pit next to the woods. A variety of rocks left by glaciers can be seen in the woods. There are 13 acres in the woods. 25% of the woods have low slope of 0 to 6%. 75% of the woods have slope of 6 to 12%.
Soil is an important part of any landscape. We need to know the soil type so we would know what works best when improving the area. In the woods we are working on, the soil type on 3/4 of the land is Gulf, Londo, Loam, and 1/4 is Gulf, Loam. We also have a stream that forms from runoff from a nearby field that flows into a moss-like swampy area and causes some erosion. The lower area stays wet longer, so we will need to mark these areas and lay some gravel down so people can pass and it can dry out. The soil type and slope means that the woods will naturally have some issues with erosion. Another thing to remember when improving the trails. We plan to work with the public school that owns the farmland and the Natural Resources Conservation Service on a grass waterway. Nature trails are in an area that is part of the Cass River watershed.
We talked to a group of adults about what we will be doing and our future plans for the project. They are very supportive of our project and would like to help. The community that we talked to was also very supportive and also wanted to help. We are working with multiple partners on this project. The Village Council, Saginaw Basin Land Conservancy, Tuscola Conservation District, Natural Resources Conservation Service, and Rotary Club of Cass City. This project will cost around $14,000, but Saginaw Basin Land Conservancy, who is one of our partners in the project, has applied for grants to fund this project, and we are applying for smaller grants for the kids' activities we are planning. We are almost done with the forest survey. We will take care of the invasive species later this spring. We will write the signs this summer and install everything in September and October. The other Cass City Homeschoolers Envirothon team is in charge of different aspects of the same larger project.
This project has been very fun to work on, and we all look forward to seeing it through and watching people in our community enjoy being outside and learning more about them, learning more of the world around them. We invite you to come to the Cass City and see the trails for yourself. Thank you.
Woo! Are there any questions?
You got through it. Just
Got
fine.
through it.
We don't bite, so relax.
We don't fight, we just hug.
Good job, guys.
Great job.
You guys did good. Have any of you guys been to Envirothon before?
This is all of our first time.
First time?
Awesome.
Okay. Great,
Very
and
good
welcome.
first time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys did a really great job.
Yeah. Question for you. You talked about talking with the community. What did that look like? How did you, what kind of forum was that? Your community discussion?
We went to our village council and the Rotary Club, and we talked to them about what we were doing.
Yeah, and so they liked that idea.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay.
You're working with district folks, conservation district folks, and land conservancy folks on identification and invasives. Yeah. Do you plan on, what sort of other invasives have you guys been seeing out there?
That's about it, just the barbarian and the honeysuckle.
Okay, great.
You're lucky.
Yeah.
You're very lucky. Keep your eyes open so that it stays that way.
What's your favorite part of this project so far?
The planning of what we are going to do with signs and mapping the trails.
Yeah, my favorite part of the project is also the signs and also having to, in the end, have a place to go on.
My favorite part is the disc golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the outreach, talking to the people about the project.
I like when we're all done with it. It's gonna be. I like working on the snow when it's all done. We'll have a place to go outside and have fun, and enjoy nature.
Those are all really good.
Yeah.
Good answers.
The other team talked about already having a small event. Maybe that kids came out and played. Were you guys part of that too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I forgot to ask them how many community members came to that. Small group. Do you remember round about how many people?
It was just our homeschool group.
Okay.
So there were a lot more kids than there were adults.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say we're probably roughly 40 people.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So families and we saw some littler kids in some of the pictures. So. Okay.
You have a big homeschool group then,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
That's terrific.
Great.
That's neat. Well,
Thank you.
thank
you.
you very much and enjoy the rest of the competition. Have fun.
Love all the bandanas.
Yep.
Good
Looks
stuff.
Looks
Yeah.
good.
Great. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.